Hello.
Hey guys, it's Casey and Erin. We're doing commentary on the very first Escape from Monster High episode.
Yeah, I guess I should probably talk about how this whole thing came about, shouldn't I, since this was my idea?
Yes, you should!
Alright, so this really happened because I was bored one day and I was scrolling through Netflix and I saw that they had dumped nearly every Monster High movie to date on there. And as I actually mentioned in the Scares interview, in the Scares video, I had actually stopped watching the franchise because Scares was just so frigging awful. But I had seen the other doll lines and stuff like that, and so I came up and I watched 13 Wishes, and I was like, wow, this actually got better. And then I watched Fright's Camera Action, and I think Freaky Fusion was out by then, but I'm not sure. So I watched what they had, the ones that I hadn't seen. I was like, actually, these got better. And then I thought about it some more, and I was like, well, you know, nobody even really talks about this franchise online, even though people have done like a bunch of other kids' movie series. So I thought, well, why not do it this way? And then I did it some more. I thought about it some more, and I was like, well, I don't really want to do it by myself, and I hadn't really done a major big crossover project. So I thought about it, and I was like, well, who else would be interested in this kind of thing? And then I thought, oh, Casey would. Casey's into this kind of thing. She might be interested. So I approached her, and then you told me you had never actually seen anything of it.
Well, no, it was never interesting for me. I always saw him like, trying to teenifying like monsters. It just felt weird. But I was like, Erin's a good person, and I'm like, you know what? I would like to try this. Let's see if I've never seen these before, so why not?
Yeah.
And now, 12 episodes later, and
here we are.
Oh my god.
And now
Here we are.
I'd like to thank our title card artist, Lizzie Brightigan, who really knocked it out of the park with all these title cards. I've been using her for a while. We've been friends for years. And I started using her for Into the Idiot Box, and then, you know, mostly she's been, just because it's a little hard for, I hate dropping like 8,000 projects on her at the same time, so I just, you know, kind of limited her to Escape from Monster High while we were doing it. But all her title cards are great. She did a lot of the Photoshop work that we use in later episodes, and it's just a lot of fun. She's a gem. She really is.
She's adorable art, and oh my god, wasn't that set I don't even have anymore, like.
Well, here we are in my old apartment. Which actually I mentioned that I'm moving in this episode, and actually that's true. I moved like about 3 weeks after we recorded all this.
What? Oh yeah, and then you had that episode with your storyline stuff. Oh, texting.
Yeah, that's been a running gag ever since. And at the time this thing is being recorded, I'm actually getting ready to end Into the Idiot Box. And yes, Toxic Crusaders will be one of the episodes that still need to be done.
Okay, this dance.
The dance is great.
This is also the first time you were writing for me, and this is the first time I wasn't sure how I would feel. So I was like, I'll do my best improving, but over time, you actually got a chance to know who I was, and it's just, it made it incredible.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, actually, the springboard for the whole thing came about when you announced that your season was ending and your storyline with the Mistress of Despair was ending, and I was like, well, there's a hook. I was like, I can have some kind of mystical thing that happens and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I need to talk about why the bracelets.
Yeah.
The bracelets came about because I wanted some sort of impetus for us to have to review all these films, and I wasn't sure what it was going to be until I was in the toy store and I actually saw these Monster High charm necklaces. These are actually charm necklaces, and they're not meant to be worn around your wrist like we are. It's almost impossible to put these damn things on.
Oh, yeah. Like, you put mine on my wrist during the filming of finale, and, like, I think I did remember doing a couple takes where I was like, okay, should I really see Erin or should I say Dubious or Con? I think I did multiple takes of that.
Yeah, you did. And I decided to just go with Erin, but it worked out and all that and everything.
Oh. I should.
You sold that out of this shock. It was great.
Oh. Well, I had to be like, okay, pretend you're in an immense amount of pain. I'm like, okay. I can say, I think like, I don't have that chair anymore. That chair broke anymore. Just, oh.
And then the first thing where you start blaming Rosen for everything.
Oh, Rosen. Hi, baby. He's actually in this episode later.
Yeah, he is. If you don't know, Rosen doesn't make videos himself, but he knows, like, literally everybody in the reviewer community. And he's frequently appears in Tony Goldmark's videos and Haley and Charlie Callahan's videos and all that, so.
Yeah. Oh, my ampersand. Wait, who? I think that's how I actually said, wait, ampersand. Wait, who was that again?
Yeah,
when you were telling me.
Yeah. So I decided, basically, when I created the character of Ampersand, I wanted a lawyer-type character, because I was like looking at this, like, you know, all these reviewers who do storyline episodes, they have all these great, massive, cosmic villains who want to destroy everything or destroy them or for whatever, and I'm like, why has nobody ever actually done a villain who is actually a threat to internet reviewers, you know, a lawyer?
No. No, and ever since doing this, Ampersand has become more like a weird type of villain for Miss Nightmare. Like when we did that Miss Nightmare short, it's like she's so pissed at Ampersand because she's known his influence from Khan on him about all the stuff he's done so far.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Ampersand is actually a different sort of villain because it's not personal with him. He legitimately couldn't care less. Could not care less about anything anybody's doing. He does not lie. He is telling the truth. Everything he does because he has a client that needs to be represented. That's the thing about Ampersand. He is not a villain in the traditional sense. He only goes up against people when he has to. He's not exactly the nicest guy in the world, but you know, that's just the way Ampersand is, because he needs to get results, and that's what he does. I mean, even him at his worst was in the Muppet Wish Day with Soundbite in the Isle of Rangoon when Nash zapped the hell out of him.
I remember that. It was so much fun. I wish we could see that again.
Yeah. And it was fine. I mean, they wrote him the way I understood what they were going for. It wasn't exactly the way I would have characterized Ampersand, but I ran with it. It was okay. But that's fine. Just getting irritated because in this case, all he is doing once again is his job. Because as I imply, I actually implied this at the end of the Into the Idiot box that came out before the Muppet Wish Days that Disney is one of his clients as well. So.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So, but I always, if anybody, I always put this out there. If anybody ever needs a lawyer. You know, I'm always willing to make Ampersand available. I just figure it might be fun just to have this one lawyer who's lurking around the edges, just waiting to pounce. Well,
I'm actually having ideas with Ampersand being involved in parts of the Miss Nightmare Review storyline for Season 3. I'm thinking of it right now. I'm just about to start the Season 2 storyline for my show. Oh my god, things are going to get dark.
That line right there actually came from a friend of mine. In the Daria fandom, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of series that have been going on, fanfic series that have been going on for a while, and a lot of running gags. And one of the running gags came about from one of the other partners of the law firm Helen Morgendorfer works with, and one of the characters that got created was Jim Vitale. And he became like this magnificent bastard character in a bunch of different fanfics. And one of my friends came up with the line that is his credo: "The law is what the lawyers make of it." And I borrowed that here because that just seemed to be the truth, you know.
Yeah, that's completely understandable. Oh, I could say when I was taking notes on this, Rosen was actually visiting me, and he was looking at my laptop. He's like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, I'm not watching anything. No. He's like, "You're watching something." I'm like, "Okay, I'm doing crossover with Erin on this." He's like, "Oh, cool." And I didn't think of the stuff how hip. I forgot about that.
What? How hip?
Yeah, the way you say it.
Yeah,
the flash
just the way the title is written. It's written with the @ symbol, and it's like, Jesus Christ, you guys are trying too hard.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I've been watching Dr. Crafty. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, he recently did like a speed art of the Ghoul School characters and talked about Monster High mainly because it was more like modern monsters and also social media. And like I never thought of the social media parts of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we talk about Universal, we're originally going to have a cameo from Charlie Spazmaster, like stroking a Monster High doll, and, but that never happened.
It didn't happen, and it's fine. It was when we write this kind of stuff, we like having cameos and whatnot, but I always try to write them in such a way that if the person can't or doesn't want to do it, it's not going to break the whole thing. So.
Yeah. But we have Charlie appear in Freaky Fusion later, so. Oh.
Very disturbing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I count those.
Yeah. Yeah, now this one, obviously a lot of the running gags don't get established here. One, because this special is shorter than all the other stuff, and I mean even half this video is just exposition setting up the storyline, because we really only spend about, this is about a 30-minute video, we spend about 15 minutes on the actual special itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, a lot of this is just us trying to get the feel for each other and all that and everything. Oh yeah, it's all these title things that kind of inspired the Who's That Ghoul bits that would come later. So
yeah, which those are good.
Yeah, and actually I kind of like that they did that in the special itself.
The web series?
Yeah, and the special itself had the identifying of all that. That way there wasn't a lot of awkward characters introducing and reintroducing themselves all the time.
Yeah.
Why is Deuce the second one? This is Deuce before he became an idiot. That's the thing.
Yeah, he became a weird super dude later on, and I'm like, why?
I don't know. It's like all the guys are idiots. I mean, at first it was just, Heath being an idiot, but then, Claude became an idiot, and then Deuce became an idiot, and it was just like...
Yeah. I think they're trying to make the females more smarter.
Yeah.
Kinda. Oh, Cleo.
Yep, and here we have Cleo in her queen bitch mode, which they thankfully softened as time went on.
Yeah.
Especially once you realize about what her fucking home life is like, and you're like, oh god, no wonder she's so horrible to everybody else.
Yeah, and just mostly dynastic. Oh my god, the puns. I don't ever remember that. Yeah, I remember. I forgot. I said, "What a bitch." Wow. My god, this has been so
animation
long.
isn't bad. I mean, it's definitely circa 2010. You can tell, but
yeah. Though it's like they did try and do flash animation for the reboot, but it looked terrible.
Yeah, I don't even know what they're doing now with their Adventures of the Ghoul Squad series, but I really don't like that animation style. I look at it and I go, ugh. But
apparently, they did have this special release in December. They're going to be putting it online in January. And I thought, what was Ghoulia? No, that's Frankie's little sister she made herself.
Yeah, Olivia.
And I'm like, why do we need this?
Yeah.
Oh. I know, I heard that and I'm like, ugh.
Yep.
Oh.
Here's an interesting thing about Draculaura. She's voiced by Debbie Derryberry, who was the voice has been a voice actress forever and is largely known as the voice of Jimmy Neutron. Was also the voice of Ryo-Oki on Tenchi Muyo for a bunch of years. Anyway, but here's the interesting thing. About halfway through these movies, she stopped being credited as Debbie Derryberry and started getting credited as Sue Swan. It's still her. For some reason, she went under a pseudonym and then went back to using her actual name. So I don't know what was going on with that.
That's weird. Like.
Oh, Ghoulia, how we miss you.
Oh, we miss you. And some people don't know, we didn't talk about this behind the scenes, but Ghoulia is voiced by a male director that made some of the movies.
Yeah, he's a director. He was a director. He's a screen Adu Padden, and he pretty much was more or less, up until recently, the mastermind behind the entire Monster High line, as I understand it. He was like writing stuff and producing stuff and doing all sorts of stuff with this thing. So.
Yeah. So that's not bad for it to actually know about. So
Yeah.
And can understand her just fine. And I guess zombies can just write perfectly normally.
like you do.
Like you do. I go by that because I actually have the Ghoulia doll, and every doll comes with a little journal, and she writes just fine and sounds exactly like you would think she would. But apparently, yeah, zombies up until the reboot, just moans and groans and whatnot. I have to give him credit though for some of the things in there. We don't talk about this here. But actually, we talk about it a little bit. We see him for a brief period in Why Do Ghouls Fall in Love, but Ghoulia eventually ends up with two suitors, zombie boys, Slow-Mo, and then the beautifully named Dawn of the Dead.
Oh yeah, now it's slowly coming back.
Yeah. But I heard that the first time in the web series, the original web series, while this special was going on, and I was like, oh, that's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, didn't she go with Slow-Mo?
Yeah, ultimately Ghoulia wound up with Slow-Mo, but then he just kind of got phased out as time went on, and that whole thing kind of got dropped. It's like all the relationship stuff they decided for all the relationship stuff they were just going to stick with Cleo and Deuce and Draculaura and Claude. And Gil and
Lagoona.
Lagoona, but we'll talk about that in another episode.
Yeah, just the way I'm just more looking at the animation style now, and it's just like, yeah, it's Circa, but it's just more. Oh, I've been working on like my own web comic with monsters, and I've been trying my best to avoid skinny body types with a lot of the monsters I have.
Yeah, but in this case, it's one of those things where the dolls basically have that same body type, so it's not like. I mean, look at her neck, for God's sake!
Oh dear God!
We haven't even gotten to the hypnotic head bit yet, but geez, I just noticed her neck was like ridiculously long.
Well, also it's just more. She should have realized not to go in the freaking water. Like, I point this out in the video. Just. Oh.
I am no Boris Karloff. I am absolutely not Boris Karloff.
No. Oh my God.
You have no idea what you're signing her up for. You have no idea what you're doing, Frankie. Good cause.
It's something with Earth. It's something with peace. It's something like It's a Small World.
I love Cleo. I will say this for the Flash animation. It's able to do a lot more interesting things. Anytime Cleo gets zapped in this era of the animation, she has that huge eyes and exploded hair, and it just... Not this, the last one we just saw, but it was just amazing.
Yeah, but that bad hair day was the only joke I ever made in this, and I'm like, I got it. It's too obvious. Oh.
This isn't a bad song. Honestly.
It's very cheesy, early 2010. Era-ish.
And if you wanted proof of how much slang evolves and how fast, you just have to listen to some of the slang they're using here, which was in use back in 2010, and it's still just like, wow, people actually said that.
Yep.
It's like, we're a bunch of idiots. The human race is a bunch of idiots when it comes to English.
And we're only in the beginning of 2018. It's just been...
It's only been like
it hasn't
even been 8 years. I think this came out in Halloween of 2010, so it hasn't even been quite 8 years yet, so.
It came out right as I just started college.
Yep.
Oh. Oh. Oh my, Cleo's just a bitch rant. My goodness.
Cleo's a bitch. And yet,
In the beginning, she was a bitch.
I can't really argue that point here, but we're going to come back to the subject of Cleo's personality as we go through the other specials, especially once we find out more about her family.
Oh, I will say apparently, since I've worn that bracelet for the last couple of years and my crossover with Diva, one person said, oh, the review's good. Miss Nightmare, take the bracelet off. And I told them I can't because of storyline purposes.
Uh-huh. What's
Like-
funny is, just after we wrapped on getting, after a certain point, I just decided to stop wearing the bracelet in my own and Into the Idiot box, because I knew we had it finished and you were just about done and getting episode 12 out. So I recorded my most recent Into the Idiot box without it, and somebody actually commented, "Why aren't you wearing the bracelet?" And I said, "This takes place after the end of Escape from Monster High."
Yeah. Like, it was the same for, like, with my crossover with Demons. Like, mine takes place before, like, these 2 episodes, and it's just more, I'm slow with editing.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you just kind of have to go with it, gang. You know, especially
Yeah,
since it took us a lot longer than we planned, because as I recall, around about the time we had a major delay right after Friday Night Frights, because my hard drive, I remember that we had a major delay because my hard drive got fried and I had to get a new one, and I didn't have a computer for a month, and then right after that you had computer problems and you didn't have your computer for a month.
I don't think for a month, but more, it was just, like, free. I think I was gone for, like, vacation for almost a month. I can't remember.
Well, I know you had computer problems as well, and that, at some point.
Yeah. Oh my God, Rosen!
And here's
Oh, my
Rosen.
baby!
Yep. Look at this!
Did you... Look at this, baby!
That didn't quite loop as well as I would have liked. Rosen, on the other hand, made the mistake of just kind of blinking throughout this. Like, you're supposed to be hypnotized. Stop blinking.
Oh.
Now, I really wanted, when we got to episode 12, to get like a giant inflatable diamond and pay off that joke. But unfortunately, I couldn't find one. And it was just like, nobody makes one. And I was like, damn it!
Unfortunately, Frankie's trying.
No,
So,
and I just said
unfortunately, we
the
had to
one
just
line.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Miserably.
Sorry, I just said the one line that, like, I improvised, and I was like, wait, he kept that line where I said I'm not evil, I'm a magical girl? What? I was surprised when you kept that in there. And then it's become art, and we have that for me and one for you for episode 2.
This worked
with
out
the
great.
hentai
I love
thing.
I love how this worked out. This was great.
Aww. I don't even remember what I'm saying in that.
Actually, that was actually your gag.
He ends up at the pool where we find.
Oh yeah, I think I was trying to be like, oh my God, this sounds worse than Glee music. Because I wanted one reference to Glee from what I reviewed from the end of season 1.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. And here's Lagoona, who sadly, as we've discovered, really for a while, it didn't seem like the writing team knew what the hell to do with her, like at all.
They made her more for like environmental and friendly and the sea person.
Yeah, but they never really knew what to do with her. Her only major thing that she ever got was, the only time she was ever majorly, badass was pretty much in Escape from Skull Shores. And then, the freshwater subplot in 13 Wishes. But really, they didn't do much with her. I mean, Lagoona really didn't get a storyline to herself until, Great Scary Reef, which came out after Boo York, and then the reboot happened. So.
Yeah, which
We may,
like a lot
right
of
now, we haven't decided what we're going to do. There are a couple of things that people have asked us to cover. We may or may not cover the other stuff in the series. Because right now I think we just want to take a break from this. After killing ourselves for 2 years trying to get it all out.
Yeah, especially like with Ever After High, I would love to do that, and Tifa has actually asked if she wants to be a part of something like that.
Well, we'll see what we can do. We want to cover Ever After High. The problem is that Ever After High has only been released kind of as special features on the Monster High videos, and I think the most recent one, Epic Winter, hasn't even gotten any sort of DVD release, so getting footage is not exactly easy since it's on Netflix exclusively. So...
Yeah. Well, for me, I have my ways. Again, magic. Kinda. My turning jerks into stone. That's still relevant in 2018.
Yeah.
Also, I think the love thing number, that's something you usually do, and I've kind of been evolving that with the doing it for my show, so you're...
Yeah, it's fun. It's
just love it.
I just like the idea that there's a book somewhere with all these cliches and tropes in them, you know, and then they're all numbered for specific situations.
Yeah.
I do. It's just like the fact they went with this plot line, though. It's like, guys, come on, run with it. It's just like, yeah, this is not a very good special. Let's just be honest about it. This is not a very good special. It suffers all the problems that, you know, a pilot episode does, where it's all exposition but very little actual plot.
Yep. And I could say that walking animation for Claudine, what was with her hips?
Now, I do like this. This is Frankie's bedroom, and it is awesome. And unfortunately, because of time, I cut one of the best lines in there. Frankie gets up. We only see her from the back. She walks into the bathroom, comes back out, walks into the bathroom, and then she says, "I don't feel right in the morning until I put on my face." And then she walks back out, and we finally see her, and you realize she literally meant putting on her face.
Like, oh, it was like some robotics shit.
Yeah, it was amazing. It's like, we don't actually see what she looks like when she gets up in the morning, but it was just like, I like that bit. It was kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh. I don't know why. I just loved the Cleo with the hands crossed, the way she looked. That's actually very perfect, and I just realized... Oh, can you imagine Cleo meeting Rarity from My Little Pony?
Yeah, I can, and they would not get along.
No, they wouldn't.
They would not get along at all. Not initially, anyway.
Yeah. Oh my god, what girls talk about.
Now, see, yeah, I hate that. This is like every cliche of teenage girls, and I really hate... One thing I really hated about this was the fact that Cleo asks her last book you read, I blog, and it's like, wow, great. Thanks for shooting down reading, guys. Well done. Nice, well done. Well, way to go.
Yeah, and I kind of advised, no girl really talks about any of these stuff. Like I mentioned there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Now I do like this. I do like this. That Cleo gets all embarrassed about the fact she's a major Justin Biter fangirl. I love that. That was like one of the first things that really kind of softened Cleo from the antagonistic mean girl bit. Until this.
Yeah. Yeah, until this. Oh.
God.
Oh.
Strikes again. And Cleo's reaction to standard teenager plot twist number 148.
Yep.
So textbook.
Hey Cleo, I see you.
Okay, now I know what she's saying. I could never understand what she said when I watched this.
Oh, your new girlfriend, yeah.
I always thought she said, not your girlfriend. I always thought that's what she said.
Now, see, now, that said, I did like this, where even Lagoona was like, it's your own damn fault.
Crap, and it turns out that Cleo happens to be in the pool as well.
Just...
Unfortunately, I had some editing problems with this. You'll see a couple of black frames where I thought things were put together, but they weren't. Because this was actually the first video I put together after I had upgraded my editing software, so I was on a brand new learning curve trying to figure everything out. So when I thought clips were actually put together, they weren't. So that's why you occasionally see that split-second black here and there.
Oh, using common sense. That is something I'm so running throughout this whole entire thing.
Yeah.
It's like... Why don't they just stop using common sense in all this? I'm like, I will use it, damn it!
Here's one of those editing glitches. For some reason, the sound on this particular clip, like, jumped through the roof, and I could not get it to go back down. I could not, I was like, it would only go, like, this loud or completely silent. I couldn't figure out what I had done wrong. So I had no choice but to just let this go. So it's like this last little bit of dialogue is just, like, loud as hell, and I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, it was like, we will say later on that it's also sometimes when I send footage to Erin, somehow it would get corrected or no one could hear me. And it goes without saying how many problems we've had going through this.
Yep. We finally got our act together though, so.
Yeah. So that's a good thing. You're excused. I just kind of wish we kind of learned how Frankie's dad even did that.
it's just one of those things you just kind of have to accept. It's just, you just kind of have to. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I just realized a lot of the fashion is more 80s, 90s in this. Just looking at
Well,
them.
like I said, all these ones we're seeing here, this is like the second major wave of dolls after the initial ones came out. This is like part of what they call the Dance of the Dead line. So it's like, all right, so Claudine and Cleo just cut their hair and changed clothes, and then all of a sudden, poof, they're back to normal. It's just like, what? Okay, whatever.
Yeah. No, it's like, why not?
Sure, why not?
Just-
Not so scary.
Oh.
I stopped trying so hard. It just happened.
Here's some interesting things. What's actually kind of interesting to me is when I was looking at the credits of this, I discovered that one of the writers on only this special, was actually Andy Bernstein, who was like one of the head writers on Daria, of all things.
What?
Right there, yeah, she was one of the recurring writers. For all of you who ever loved the Daria Trent story arc, that was her. That was primarily her. She wrote most of those episodes. So,
Wow.
yeah. And then Eric Radofsky was directing on this as well, and he's pretty well known, and he pretty much had done a bunch of animated stuff. He did the Spawn animated series on HBO. He worked on Batman the animated series as well, and he was involved in this. It's just really interesting.
It's like this weird cycle of good to
It's almost
what
like the animation
happened?
industry keeps hiring the same people over and over and over again. Go figure.
Yeah. Oh. No animation. Oh.
Oh, you borderline incestuous thing, you. But yeah, so yeah, this one, you know, much like the special itself, this first episode of Escape from Monster High is pretty much rocky. It is a pilot episode. It has some of the same problems that we complain about, but you know, it's not bad. It's not terrible. It's a decent setup for everything.
Yeah. Like,
You know-
I've seen worse pilots for series before, and even worse episodes. And this is not one of the worst. I just kind of wish they kind of avoided so many tropes that you could just see a mile away.
Well, I think they realized that's where they were going because they just didn't really embrace the whole monster thing as much as they could. So
Yeah, and even now with its reboot, it's more, they're embracing the monster thing, but they're kind of making it more
well, they
for younger
they
kids.
basically retargeted the age group.
Yeah.
Oh, look, the one
keys.
effect I did that I was never able to recreate ever. God.
Aww. Hey, we kind of make the keys come in different styles, so.
Yep. And I'd actually found these figures. They had announced figures were coming out, and I had found them at Walmart. And I was like, "Ooh, we needed something for keys. We'll use these." And we went out and I went out and bought as many as I could. And I knew that there would be more coming. There were originally only like the first 6 figures, but I figured by the time we got to it, we'd have enough by all the others by the end, which we did. So
Yeah, and then I was like, I was seeing them too, and it was only going to be originally Erin getting the keys, but I was like, oh, these look so pretty, and then I bought one, and Erin's like, what have you done? I'm like, it's pretty.
yeah, but
But it made more sense. Yeah, but it made more sense for me to get the keys too on my end, so.
Yeah, and we've kind of gone over there, so you're now staring at a blank screen, I think.
Unless I put in Lizzie's title card of Escape from Monster High,
Yeah.
which you're seeing right now. So,
Yeah, there we go. All right, but yeah, that was Escape from Monster High, New Ghoul at School. I'm not sure how often we'll get to these other ones, but I think we'll do commentaries for the others because this was fun. And they'll be a little bit longer and we can talk more about the madness that was trying to present this series.
Oh, like, wait until we get to the Freaky Fusion one because, what have I done? What have I done? But we'll see you all in the next commentary, guys. So, hope you have a good day.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.